folks, and welcome back to the Hillbilly Kitchen. Today Bret and I rode our motorcycle over to Cumberland Gap National Park, and we're going to be cooking chicken packets on a fire. Because we're doing this picnic today on our motorcycle, bringing a giant bag of charcoal was kind of inconvenient. So I'm going to gather some sticks and build a fire. Now it's been pretty dry, so just about any sticks are going to burn today, but if it had been raining, and we've done this before when it's raining, you want to look up in the trees for dead sticks that are hanging in the trees. And you do that because those sticks will drip for one thing, and another thing, they're completely surrounded by air, and the wind blowing across them dries them quicker. And it's easier to start your fire with those. So let's gather some sticks for our fire. This is what I'm talking about by dry sticks hanging in the trees. These are super dry, and they'll burn with just a match. You won't even need any paper to start a fire with these. And you can also look down on the ground. Stuff like this is perfect, little bitty tinder. These are not even as big as a match. Now, you want to be careful when you're in an area with leaves like this everywhere, because snakes are in leaves like this. And they are camouflaged so that birds and other predators can't find them to look just like the leaves. So don't reach down to pick up a stick off of the ground without looking where you're reaching. Also, you'll see right over here is something else that you have to look for when you're reaching down to pick up sticks. It's poison oak or poison ivy. Grows everywhere. They look the same. There are 3 leaves. It always has 3 leaves. If you see something with 3 leaves, stay away from it when you're picking up your firewood. Right here you can see it's growing everywhere, and it's mixed in with other stuff. This, of course, is not. This is not, that is not, but here it is. I mean, it's just everywhere. All these little plants with 3 leaves, and if you look on this big tree over here, you can see it growing up the tree. And it gets really big sometimes when it grows up trees. I didn't bring an axe or a hatchet or anything with me today, and I am going to need some decent sized logs on this fire. Because it's probably going to take at least an hour to cook these. So to break them, I'm going to find me a tree and just hit it. And I've got some nice grill size logs here. I've got my firewood all ready to start my fire. I have some tiny stuff here in the grill ready to go. And I've got some little bit bigger stuff there. As soon as it starts burning, I'm going to put that on it. And then a little bigger. And then I have my pile of wood that I'm actually going to cook my food on. I do want to start my fire so it can get hot while I'm getting my food ready. And I'm not going to rub 2 sticks together because I'm not in a survival situation. And if I was in a survival situation, I wouldn't rub 2 sticks together because I've got enough sense to carry a big lighter. I'm blowing on it just a little bit to make it burn hotter and actually start my tinder. Okay, my fire's really burning now, and I'm going to add some more wood. I want to get a lot of coals in here before I actually start cooking on it. Put some bigger logs on so they'll burn for a little longer. And if you come to a park and build a fire to cook on, make sure you put it in a grill or in a fire pit area, because there are leaves all over the ground here, and if you started a fire, it would literally burn down half the park before they got it put out. Well, here are the ingredients for our chicken packets, and people also call these hobo meals. Of course, chicken, and I'm using some strips. I have some taters that I dug out of the garden this morning. You can tell I've been out in the garden digging, looking at my fingernails. Some baby carrots. I also have some onions that I got out of the garden this morning. And I know these don't look like store-bought onions, but boy are they tasty. I've got some little packets of honey and lemon juice and some salt and pepper. And I'm gonna start by drizzling some lemon juice and some honey over my chicken. Yep, that's how Hillbillies open packages. And then you want to drizzle a little honey over them. We used to take our kids camping when they were younger. And when they got older, we would take all of their friends camping, and we would make these for huge groups of people. And everybody likes it so much. In the winter time, sometimes I'll put this stuff all in a casserole dish together and make it in the oven. And I've even made it in a big skillet before. Just combined all the ingredients in a skillet and cooked it on the stove top. So you don't necessarily have to go on a picnic to make this or go camping to make it. You can make it in your kitchen. When you're fixing this, be generous with your portions. I mean, you're cooking a hearty outdoor meal. This ain't a fancy square plate dinner. And you want to make sure you put plenty of onions on, because they're not only part of the dish, they're part of the seasoning. You don't have to peel your potatoes if you use these new potatoes, because the skins are really thin. Just throw them in there and they'll add some color and some flavor. You do want to kind of add salt and pepper as you layer the food in the packet, because you can't stir it once you wrap it all up. It's wrapped up, and that's how it's going to stay until you open it up to eat it. Final ingredient is butter, and some of this butter is going to drip out as it cooks, but you want to put enough butter on it to flavor it. And I'm probably going to put 2.5 tablespoons in each one of these, and we'll have a little extra butter on it when I take it off the grill and we eat it. Now all you're going to do is hold your aluminum foil up and seal it real tight. This is not a meal that you can go out and buy somewhere. I don't think there's a restaurant in the world that serves this. This is a real meal. So we're going to take these over and put them on the fire now. You can see that my fire's died down now. I have a lot of coals here in the bottom. That's exactly what I want. It's really hot. I still think it's going to take these about an hour to cook. So we're going to put them on and get them started. You do want to keep your fire going while they're cooking. Make sure it keeps burning hot. And we're going to flip them over several times before they get done so that they don't burn. I can already hear them sizzling in there, the lemon juice and stuff. These have been cooking for maybe 15 minutes, and you can see here I actually have stuff boiling out the sides because this fire is really hot. So I am very carefully and with my fingers, and if you have tender hands, you might want to bring some tongs with you on your picnic, but I'm going to flip them really fast. The good thing about aluminum foil is it doesn't get as hot as a lot of other stuff, and you can grab it by the edge and flip it. Just don't hold on to it too long. This is my husband Bret that y'all have been hearing so much about, and the one that I cook for most of the time. These have been cooking about 40 minutes now, I guess, and this will actually be the third time I've flipped them. This fire is really hot. You can see how the heat's got the aluminum foil all swelled up, and I'm sure you can hear that sizzle. So again, be careful, grab it by the edge and flip it really fast. And I'm gonna let them cook maybe another 10, possibly 15 minutes because I can smell the carrots and the onions and the potatoes cooking now. So I think they're probably just about done. You know, you don't have to spend a fortune to do something enjoyable and have an experience and have a good time. This neat little picnic cooler bag that I've carried with us today has everything in it. It's got silverware and cups and plates and all that stuff. And it is a cooler bag, so I had all of our food in the back of it. I actually got this thing for free probably 15 or 16 years ago when I ordered office supplies. And we use it all the time. This meal did not cost us any more than eating at home. And this is an experience that we're sharing. It's not just going out to dinner. I know a lot of people go out to dinner on a regular basis, and I'd be willing to bet that you can't remember 1 or 2 restaurant trips you've taken in your whole life. This we will remember for a very long time because it's more than just a meal. It's something that we are doing together. We are experiencing it together, and you learn a little something when you have an experience too. It's like I said, it's not just a meal. So go out and try something, and especially for the people who are trying to be more prepared in case something happens. You're not going to be able to cook on a fire if you've never cooked on a fire. You're not going to know to look for rattlesnakes and copperheads in leaves unless you've been out and looked for rattlesnakes and copperheads in leaves. You know, experience a little life. Don't just sit around and wait until you have the means to do something, because life is not all about what you don't have or what you're waiting to get. It's about what you've got and about the people in your life that you do it with. And you really can do a lot of things and enjoy things without spending money. So this is cost us $2 in gas to come over here. The national park is free to picnic in. The fire was free. The food we would have eaten anyway. So, you know, go do something. Look at this. Have you ever seen anything any more beautiful in all of your life? Right before we left the house, I ran out in the garden and grabbed us a whole bag full of these little cherry tomatoes. And I've cut those up and we're having them while we're waiting on our food to cook. But these are fresh picked today, organic cherry tomatoes, and they are tasty. That's something else that you just can't get anywhere. These have been cooking for at least 45 minutes, maybe 50 minutes. And I'm going to poke a hole in them here and see how they're doing. Okay. Well, it's not real brown. So I'm going to let it keep cooking a while. Everything is tender. It's just not overly brown. As hot as this fire is, I thought it would be much browner. I was actually afraid it was getting burned. So I'm going to kind of fold this back up to hold some of the moisture in it and just let it sit there and keep cooking. These have been cooking at least an hour, and they've been cooking 15 minutes since I checked them, and they were completely done when I checked them, but I wanted to brown them a little bit. If you've watched my other cooking videos, you know we like our food brown. Now, I'm not going to attempt to grab a hold of these and carry them over to the table with my bare hands. What I'm going to do is drag them onto this piece of aluminum foil and then carry them over. And I did burn my thumb earlier, so be careful if you do this with your hands. Just like that. This piece is cool. This is what they look like when they're done. Mine is definitely browned good. All my carrots and my potatoes and my chicken and everything is brown. Bret's is a little browner than mine, and that is just the way he likes it. He likes everything cooked until it's really, really brown. So we're going to dump these on our plates here and add a little bit of butter to them. You could eat them right out of the aluminum foil if you wanted to. But thanks for joining us again in the Hillbilly Kitchen. We enjoyed having you along on our picnic. Don't forget to click like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.